there's been a case of WWE YouTubers using AI as SpongeBob has did AI things too, but no spread to WWE. I don't know why, but as somebody said, we were reviewing AI channel, seeing if this is right, because it says Bret Hart, because you can see if it's fake or not. Usually, usually if it's right. 1997, because it thinks to me that it's wrong. Mm. Wait, give me a second. Mm, mm. 13. Alright, yeah, it was not wrong there. Sperhart was in the WWE for 13 years.
Company's most popular superstar. But just a week before Survivor Series, he had agreed to join the rival company, WCW. This means his bout with Shawn Michaels was about to be his last, and he was unwilling to drop the title in front of his home crowd. Vince had promised that the match would end in a disqualification. But that's not what happened. Midway through the match, Shawn locked Bret in his own finishing move, the sharpshooter. Bret hadn't submitted, but suddenly the bell rang and Shawn Michaels was declared the new champion. Bret sat in the ring, stunned and furious, while the crowd gasped in shock. What they didn't
The right turn. You could.
know was that Vince McMahon had secretly ordered the referee to end the match, screwing Bret out of the title without his consent. In the aftermath, a furious Bret approached the apron where Vince was standing and spat directly into his face. But it didn't end there. He also smashed cameras, monitors, and ringside equipment to vent his frustration. Before leaving, Bret even gestured WCW in the air, making it clear where he was going. The fallout was massive as the fans turned on WWE while Vince McMahon transitioned into a villainous role. The Undertaker versus Goldberg. In 2019, WWE hosted the Super Showdown pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia, booking a dream match between their biggest superstars, Goldberg and The Undertaker. But what should have been a legendary showdown turned into one of the worst, most dangerous.
As you see, this is made by AI. This is the Royal Rumble pay-per-view and not Super Showdown. That's Royal Rumble. I don't know where the AI dumb goofy I got that from. There's no, it's not it.
Dangerous moments that WWE has ever broadcast. The crazy thing is that it all started with a single botch. Early in the match, Goldberg slammed his head into the ring post and suffered an actual concussion. From that moment on, he was completely disoriented, but instead of stopping the match or adjusting the pace, they kept going. Goldberg attempted moves that required timing and coordination, which he no longer had. He nearly dropped The Undertaker on his neck in a failed jackhammer John Cena over the top rope. But when they finished the match with a weak-looking tombstone and pinned rating, still annoyed by what just happened. But several years later in a podcast, he did confirm that it was no one's fault. Royal Rumble 2005. The ending of the
You mean you did miss podcast? But you didn't show them actually talking about it.
2005 Royal Rumble was supposed to be simple. Batista wins by tossing John Cena over the top rope. But when the final spot came, things went completely off script. Due to a botched move, both men tumbled over the ropes at the exact same time, and their feet hit the floor together. It wasn't planned, but it happened. This left the officials with no exact winner to announce. Referees from both Raw and SmackDown brands started arguing over who touched first, clearly buying time and waiting for instructions.
As you can see, the overly used over here can just show you that this was made by AI and you made it.
Backstage, Vince McMahon was fuming. He marched to the ring to fix the chaos, but as he slid in, he tore both of his quads. No joke, he literally sat on the mat, unable to stand, and barked orders at the referees on what
So
to do next. During this time, the cameras focused on the two wrestlers
See, this fake one would you go to John Cena and Batista, I think this from 2010, and make saying that this is the Royal Rumble 2005. No, I think this is like a Raw SmackDown or something.
who actually improvised by throwing each other out to divert attention. Eventually, Vince decided to restart the match, and Batista ended up winning rather quickly. A big
I don't think that it did happen.
disaster was averted.
I don't think they even did that. Let me look at the. Let me look at that real quick. So I don't think the is right there. I think they just. I think they probably decided it later, as their already does. Let me find it. Let me find it. As he said, we're 2005. He was right. He was right, actually.
But Vince McMahon quickly became an internet meme. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. This incident also took place in the Royal Rumble, but in the 2018 edition,
I don't remember that. Let me see. I might not remember these, but if what happened in 2018 the Royal Rumble, as you can see, yeah, they use AI. There's no match in the Royal Rumble 2018 that I see. Brock Lesnar versus versus Braun Strowman, as I don't. Wait, no, actually, I was wrong. There's some under. Oh, you forgot to include Kane, because Kane was in a triple threat match, and you forgot to include that. It's not just Brock Strowman. It was actually Kane also. So it was actually a friend.
during a triple threat match for the WWE Universal Championship, Braun Strowman accidentally kneed Brock Lesnar too hard in the head. It was a painful blow that took the animal by complete surprise. Brock didn't
That is the wrong term. Brock Lesnar is the beast, not the animal.
take it lightly. Instead of selling it like a pro, he fired back with a real punch that rattled Braun's skull.
Well, turns out he was MMA, so this is kind of unrealistic. As Brock Lesnar in real life is very, he would really take shots real hard to people's faces if they bust one spot where they hit him too hard. So that's not true at all.
The funny thing is that the third participant, Kane, simply watched this from the sidelines with amusement. The match slowed down from that point onwards, and Brock Lesnar ended up winning. Although no real damage was done, the entire roster learned firsthand what happens when you hit a legit MMA fighter.
Well, why did you not state that? As you said you just didn't even mention it.
Steve Austin versus Owen Hart. 19 he would hug Batista if they met, and that he was proud of his Hollywood success. Batista versus Booker T. Although not an official match, this incident created so much drama that it had to be here. During a commercial shoot for SummerSlam in 2006, the two
Now I know why it's made by A. When it says 2016, it says 2006. That you obviously said 2006 when the world you put 2016.
got into a legit fight, which resulted in both getting some serious injuries. This was a time when Batista was at his peak and one of the biggest stars in the business. It is reported that he disrespected many wrestlers and was being too cocky, which got on Booker's nerves. According to several wrestlers who were present during the fight, Booker T emerged victorious, but guys like Finlay claim Batista was more dominant. Regardless, one thing's for sure that both of them took an absolute beating. Booker T was left with a black eye while Batista was
This was a match, right? I think at SummerSlam this happened. What decided to purposely make every move, decide to botch purposely on every move, and yeah. Uh,
At SummerSlam 2005, fans were treated to a dream matchup between Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan. But despite it being an iconic bout on paper, there was a lot of chaos behind the scenes. Shawn had pitched the idea of doing a three-match series where both guys could win one each and keep the story going. But Hogan wasn't having it. He wanted one clean match that would result in his victory. Shawn's ego took a hit, and as a result, he retaliated in the most comical way possible. Throughout the match, he started selling Hogan's moves like he was being hit by a truck. A simple punch would send him flying across the ring. A clothesline had him flipping like a cartoon character, and at points Shawn tossed himself inside the ring without Hogan even touching him. The match was honestly hilarious, but it wasn't part of the script. This was Shawn's way of trolling Hulk Hogan on live TV. Becky Lynch's busted nose. During a 2018 Monday Night Raw episode, all hell broke
that's just cop
loose when the divas of
showing that this is a 2020, I think 2020.
SmackDown attacked their Raw counterparts. Superstars like Bayley, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and many others were battering each other for supremacy. But during the chaos, Nia Jax stole the headlines when she accidentally caught Becky Lynch with a brutal punch to the face. It wasn't part of the plan, but Becky's nose broke and she started bleeding right there on live TV.